Alright, good morning. So, before I start, I would like you to ask yourself a few questions. So, which package of SolidWorks that you are using? We have three packages: SolidWorks Standard, Professionals, and Premium. Which package that you are using? So, the second question will be, do you fully utilize the capabilities of your current SolidWorks package? So, the next question is, does the current package of SolidWorks enough for you? Does it fulfill all your works needs, your project needs? So the last question will be, do you have any issues that you are not sure whether SolidWorks can do it or SolidWorks are capable of solving your current issues? So welcome to today's webinar. The titles of Discovering SolidWorks Premiums. I'm William Gore, the instructors for today's. So basically this will be 1 hour's webinars, but depends. Sometimes we'll end early. So to answer your first questions in our previous slides, which package of SolidWorks that you are using? So if you have a SolidWorks in your computers, start up your SolidWorks and you will have a flash screen. Okay? So it returns there SolidWorks Premium. So it simply means that I have a SolidWorks Premium package in my PC. So if it says Professionals or Standards, then it simply means that you have different package, not premium package. Alright? So the target audience for today's will be for SolidWorks Standard users, Professional users, of course, also included Premium users is if you do not know what is the capabilities of SolidWorks Premium. So for piping and tubing designers, all right, and designer who concern about stress analysis, concern about whether your structures, your part can withstand a certain load. So a little bit of introductions here. SolidWorks Premiums actually further expand the capabilities of SolidWorks, different package of Standard and Professionals, giving you more design, 3D designing solutions from designings until validationals. Okay, so it also enhanced with simulations, motions, and validational tools. Okay, and also piping routings. And also wiring routings. So, and also the reverse engineering, which is the scan to 3D. So if you are working with scan files such as the match types or the point cloud types files, then SolidWorks Premiums also will help. We will discuss further. We will discuss in details of each of the difference between SolidWorks Standards and SolidWorks Premium. Okay. Don't worry about this because all these information you can get it from SolidWorks websites or from SolidWorks Help. So let's look at the products matrix of different package of SolidWorks. So if you can see here, we have product matrix and in different field in different types. So we are talking about the parts and assemblies modeling first. So as you all know, SolidWorks Standards is capable of doing basically all design, all 3D modeling. Of course, anything that you can imagine of, anything that can be created into 3Ds, you can create it with SolidWorks Standards. Okay. In SolidWorks Standard has different modules of sheet metals, weldment, surface, and also basic part assemblies and drawing. So as you can see here, 3D modeling, of course, large assembly design, of course, it has the capabilities, surfacings, sheet metals, weldment, mold designs, reading PCB data, and direct model modifications. All right. So what does SolidWorks Premium have extra compared to SolidWorks Professionals and SolidWorks Standards is the full ECAD and MCAD data exchange. In this case, we are talking about circuit works, piping tubing design. We are talking about routings in SolidWorks language, electrical cablings and harness designs. It's also electrical routing. Right? It's part of routings. So let's go further in to look at what does this ECAD and MCAD data exchange mean. So it simply means that you expand the capabilities by adding in an add-on of SolidWorks. So what does SolidWorks? We can open ECAD files. All right, edit the properties, and basically what we are going to do is we are going to edit the properties, adding in SolidWorks components, creating into 3Ds, putting into our components, changing the ECAD data in SolidWorks applications, in SolidWorks interface, and then export back into SolidWorks applications. So basically we are going to import the ECAD files and then putting it into SolidWorks to create 3D modelings. And from 3D modelings, we are going to export it back. From MCAD, we are going to export it back into ECAD and to ECAD formats. So what is ECAD? If you would open ECAD in a text-based note, okay, you will see three diagrams, okay, with different codings, different phrase, different paragraph, to show that each of the components, the positions, the thickness, the component size, and all these things, the information will be written in a text format form. So if you're opening it with SolidWorks SolidWorks, you will have a different windows, different interface of SolidWorks, and it will shows you the controls of your circuit boards, or if you import it from ECAD, you will have these models, and each of the components with different namings and it will give different information. Okay, so what we have here is that we can modify the component properties. For example, the thickness of the components in SolidWorks. Okay, for each of the components, we check the properties, and we can assign different height properties, thickness of the components, and then simply accept it, and it will be updated into the SolidWorks. And as for when we created it, accept it, and create as a component in SolidWorks. It will save as a library features. Okay, we can save all these components into SolidWorks libraries components of electronics component. Okay, and in SolidWorks interface, we can also change the properties of the components. All right. So then, when you are done in SolidWorks, simply click on the building the models to SolidWorks command, and it will build up the components. Of course, it will take some time, and then it will build up the components, and then it will come out as a 3D models. Okay, as you can see on the left. Okay, your 3D models of from the SolidWorks. Okay, so from here we can do some renamings. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we can also change the model properties. For example, the thickness or everything. Then from there, we can again export it back to SolidWorks data. All right, and once you export it into SolidWorks data, you will notice that the components properties and the component names will change accordingly. So, for example, here for the big screens, I changed the names to H199. So you will notice that the name will change, and once you export it back to your SolidWorks data, in these text files, it will update accordingly from H1 to H199. Okay, so this is about SolidWorks. This is about ECAD and MCAD data exchanges. So next will be the electrical cables and harness design. So basically we are talking about electrical routing here. So in electrical routings, we have components readily with different configurations in the design libraries. Okay, if you have premiums, you will have these capabilities of the electrical component. So for example, in this case, I will need to put this plug into my casing. So what do? Is I simply drag and drop into positions. Okay. Again, I drop on another side of the box, and the next thing is let electrical routings do the job by clicking using auto routes. Click on 2 point and let the electrical routings do the job for you. Okay, using auto routes, and SolidWorks will do the jobs, joining 2 point and creating pipes, creating wires for you. So of course, in wirings, we need to assign colors. So we can assign colors to our cables. Okay, assigning colors is simple as assign colors, select the path that you want, the particular path that you want it to be, the color that you want, green, white, blues, and then it will update accordingly, as you can see here in these small pictures. So next, if I would like to add in more components, more features into my box. So for example, here I add in 3 more clips on the side wall of the box, of the electronics box. So again, we can use the routing features and let the routings to mate all the wire to the clips. Okay, so when it is done, this is the outcome of the automatic mates by the auto routes. Okay, it will clip the wire to the pin and we adjust the length of your wires. So next, we would like to add in more colors. Okay, so what you need to do is just assigning colors and then click on the path that you want. So the next thing, it will automatically generate as different colors and created wire harness for your separate wire components. So in electrical routings, we can also import from Excel sheets, from to informations from Excel sheets, and then once you have imported, all you need to do is just click OK, and it will prompt you to insert each of the components that you are going to put into your electronic box. So you assign into the particular pins. For example, here we assign into the positions that is required, and SolidWorks will read from the from to informations, joining wires to each of the pins. So, and then there is a simple click of mergings. Just click on the merge and it will merge the wires together, and this will be the outcome of it. Okay, together with the harness and the wires. So again, in 3D's fabrication sites, they would not like to know about the 3D. They would not like to see the 3Ds. All they want to know is the 2D drawings. Okay, so in SolidWorks Premiums, in electrical routings, we have the features of flattening the harness. So it's a simple click. Just click on the flattening this harness, and the length will be automatically calculated for you. Okay, with a flattening harness diagram. Okay, so if we click on the additional options of what are the information that you need, BOM, drawing lengths, balloons, auto balloons, or anything, just check on that and it will come up accordingly in the drawing, it will automatically generate one drawings for you, together with the colors, the length, the pin numbers, the item numbers, the quantities of it, alright, all inside the drawings. So it's a time saver. It's a time savers for you who designs for electronics devices. So the next capabilities will be the piping and tubing design. Okay, in SolidWorks language, we will name this as routing. Okay, so it is only available in SolidWorks Premium. So what you need to do here is that we need to drag and drop flanges into the outlet or the inlet of our components, or the piping components. Then again, one feature that I always like, just click on auto routes and it will create one routes up. And so the next thing will be selecting point to point for where you want to join them together. So let's say if you have a chamber, if you have a big box, if you have a tank where you want to join 2 points together, all you need to do is just click on auto routes, click on the point, click on the 2 point where the pipe will join, and it will automatically generate one pipe, one tube, joining 2 flanges together. So we have alternates. It have capabilities of choosing alternate path and manually adjusting all these paths. Okay, depends on your desire, depends on what outcome that you want. So if let's say I would like to add a reducers, will add additional components into my piping tubing. So again, all you need to do is just drag the components readily in the routing design libraries, drag and drop into the pipes. Okay, for clear pictures, we are adding T's here in these positions. So it will comes out a pipe again. Again, you can use auto routes to join 2 points together, and a pipe, a tube will be created automatically. Of course, piping tubing designs, these routings will have the capabilities of creating flexible tubing. Okay, same thing here. We can use clicking on 2 points. We can pick on the auto route features, joining 2 points together to create this flexible tube. Okay, of course, at first it will not be a flexible tube. You need to check on one particular option which says flexible tubing. Check on that and it will create a flexible tube for you. So if you would like it to have a longer length, all you need to do is just drag this line and drag this line to control the length or control the degrees of how the flexible tubes looks like. Okay, so that will conclude on the routings, electrical routings of the piping tubing design. So the next, we come back to the products matrix. We go into the next categories of design, reuse, and validationals. Okay, so this will be more on the user interface. Okay, user interface and tools that will help us in our daily designing. So SolidWorks Search, I am sure that all of you are familiar with this. Whenever you are not sure where your picture is, but you remember the names of your pictures, all you need to do is just type on the right top corners of your SolidWorks, and type in the feature's name, and it will search for you itself automatically. So design automations simply means by parametrics. So configurations, okay, you will have configurations, capabilities, design libraries, and also 3D models from suppliers, and more you can download it from the 3D content. So smart component and smart fastener, this will be your design libraries that you created yourself. And standard component libraries here will be simply means by the toolbox. Okay, it's only available from the professional package onward. and also task schedulers. So we will go deep into task scheduler later. So next, so SolidWorks standards components, we are talking about toolbox here. Toolbox are the standard components readily with smart matings for your assemblies. Bolts, nuts, bearings, any standard components that you want, you can always either have in the toolbox libraries. So it saves your time of creating your library features. If you are using bolts, nuts a lot, you can consider of having this toolbox. Okay. So the next will be SolidWorks Task Scheduler. Not much people know about this, but a schedule, you can schedule your task to save your time. If let's say I have all my products ready with all the dimensionings and all the proper dimensioning and proper relations. So if let's say I would like to create drawings from all these particular parts files. So we can schedule a task. We can schedule a task in SolidWorks Task Scheduler. So task schedulers, you can look for this in the Start menus. Okay, just go to Start, go to Program Files, go to SolidWorks. Under the SolidWorks tools, you can search for your SolidWorks Task Scheduler. Here, you can simply click on the Create Drawing, and select the parts or select files where all your part is stored. Okay, I want to run the model once. So let's say I leave my components overnight. So I set my time for afterwards. So the start date, I would like all the drawing to save in as the original in my original files. So click Finish, and when you come back the next days, all your drawing will be readily generated with the same name as your parts in the same file. Okay? So of course, it's not only for creating drawings. Okay, we have the capabilities of doing many other things. Okay, so all these things I will not be going into details. You can search for it in SolidWorks Help, or you can contact your local resellers, which is us. All right. So we proceed with the product metrics. So in animations and renderings, packages, categories. So in assemblies, we can do animations by giving a time frame and a movement of your component. So we can do walkthroughs or fly-through animations in a large structural buildings. And the next will be the photorealistic renderings. Here is actually PhotoView 360. So this is one of the outcome of the photo rendering image. Okay, so it gives you the realistic views of your product. Okay, so photo rendering is only available on SolidWorks Professionals onward. Okay, for your information. So the next will be the design validations and simulations categories. So here is to validate your projects, to check your projects, to check your models, to verify your models whether it have any errors or it have any over designings or etc. So we have collision interference detections in SolidWorks all package, whole alignment check, check the manufacturability, full flow simulations. Of course, this is only for parts. Sustainabilities. Okay, draft and undercut analysis. And starting from professionals onward, we have cost estimations. Okay, then we have tolerance stack-up analysis, kinematic motions simulations, structural validations. So we are going to go through one by one of the extras features have in SolidWorks Premium. So for costing estimations, we have two types of costing estimation here. One is the machining cost. Another one is the sheet metal costing. So it will guide you through with a wizard. So all you need to do, all you need to input is the assigning materials. You need to assign the materials. You need to assign the machining methods, millings, turnings, or anything. And then the size of your metal slabs and the cutting profiles. Okay? And then it will generate the cost per part and estimated the cost per part for you. And it will report, it will generate reports for your cost estimation. So the next one will be the sheet metals. Again, it will guide you through a wizard. So all you need to do is basically the same as the machining costing, where you need to assign the materials, and then you assign the machining methods, it's either laser cutting or punching, okay? And then the size of the sheet metals and the cutting path, and then cost per part will be estimated and report generated. Alright? So then we will go through the tool analysis. So tool analysis is basically a 4-step procedures, okay, to check for your stack-up tolerance analysis. So the 4 steps include measuring. So when we're talking about measuring here, it's not normal smart dimensioning. It's using the dimension expert. Okay, it will go in all the package. Dimension expert assigning all the tolerance into the dimension expert. And then go to the assemblies, go to the particular, go to the dimension experts tab on your design tree. Okay, click on the tool analysis, and it will guide you with a tool analysis results. So all you need to do is verify the sequence of the part which is stacking up. For example, this part will be the bottom base, the center bodies, and also the top bodies. And then you need to assign constraints to these particular assemblies, this stacking up sequence. So what does it mean here is your primary meets, secondary meets, and tertiary meets. And then just go to tool analysis, click on the generatings, and it will give you the results. It will give you the results of maximums and minimum tolerance stackings, and it will also give you a statistical calculations of root mean square, okay, of the stacking up. So you will know that once you stack out whether the stack up tolerance will reach your minimum requirements or not. And let's say it does not meet your minimum requirements, then you will need to go back to your part and change tolerance of each of the part. Okay, so that at the end of the day, when you stack up the minimum tolerance, the worst case scenarios will not give you any problems. Alright? So then we'll go through the motions analysis. So motion analysis is different from animations. Motion analysis considers the real-time physics of your components, assigning gravities, assigning contact to each of the components, and let it run, assigning damping systems, assigning frictions to each of the any physical theories, any physical requirements of the components you can put it in, and then it will generate a movement from your inputs. So we have 2 types of motion analysis. One is kinematic motion analysis, where we only provide force, motions, contacts, gravities to the components and let it run the motions analysis. Another one is the dynamic motion analysis, where we consider together of the force of the components when it is moving or the force generated by the component itself. Okay? Combination of these two, we can bring these results into stress analysis for further validations or further checkings whether your components will fail. Is it the qualities of your components? So the next one will be the structural stress analysis. Okay, so it is different from the simulation express that you have in the SolidWorks standards or the trainings that you go through in SolidWorks Essential. So it expands the capabilities of stress analysis further to the assemblies level. Okay, so we assign constraints to each of the components. We can assign more constraints types. So in Simulation Express, we only can fix the components on that particular point or surface. But in Premium simulations analysis, stress analysis, we expand the capabilities of allowing the force to move in one direction only, constrain your bodies in one direction, or two directions, or three directionals, in translational modes only, or in rotational modes only. So it is more near to real world settings in this case. Okay, we can also remove the mass of, for example, we can remove this engine mass to the frame without adding in the parts. Okay, and generating reports in this stress analysis is much more easy. With just one click and the required information key in, it will generate the reports of what are the results that you show. So the next is also the last categories of product metrics, which is the collaborate and share. So of course, we can import and export. We can import neutral files. We can install step files and GS files. We can also export it out. And 3D for rapid prototyping. Okay, it works well together. So we can read DWG file, AutoCAD files, the XF files. We can also generate it out. So product design is information sharing. Okay, e-drawing, large design reviews. E-drawing professionals expand the capabilities of e-drawings further, where you can put in markup and more. So in this case, it is on professional onwards. Feature recognitions for models without any features, a neutral file, step files, or IGS file. When you put it in, it can do a feature recognitions. It will recognize your features and assign SolidWorks features to each of for your components. Data vaulting and revision controls. This will be workgroup PDM. And then the last one will be the imported scan data. So what I would like to talk about is the imported scan data. So the imported scan data in SolidWorks, we call it as scan to 3D. So we can import 3D scan files, two types. The only two types of scan data here: point cloud types or the mesh type. Okay, importing in, it will give you as a point cloud data, some sort like this. Okay, or mesh type data. So all you need to do is run the mesh preparations wizard. Okay, run the mesh preparation wizards, and it will run through your point cloud scan data and give you a mesh. Okay, give you a mesh, and then you run the surface wizards, and it will create a surface to cover up all the point cloud, all the meshes areas prepared earlier. So the next thing will be trimming in, editing the surface to finally get your final outcome, your solid models. So this will be the stages that you need to go through. First is opening the point cloud or the mesh types 3D data, 3D scan data, and then preparing the data using mesh preparations wizard. So then it will go to the surface wizards. The surface will be generated covering each of the parts, and then trimming away additional features, additional surface that you don't need. And finally, you will get your solid models. Okay, so that will conclude what is the difference between the SolidWorks standards, professionals, and also premium. So SolidWorks premium expand the capabilities. It enhance with more features, especially for people who works with electricals wiring a lot, piping tubings a lot. You're concerned about your part stress. You do testings on your part, and also Furthermore, if you have encounters, if you always encounters that imported 3D scan data, so definitely SolidWorks Premium will be your choice. So thank you. So that will end my sessions of webinar. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me through this email address. So you can stay tuned to our website for the slides uploaded, and also our blogspot for the articles in the coming weeks. All right. So good day, and see you all around. So if you have any questions, remember to drop me an email. Okay. So I will answer accordingly. So thank you very much, and I will end the sections of webinar.